How's it going, everybody? It's Player Family. We're back with another FPL live stream, and today we're slightly later because it's a slightly later deadline, which is nice because it means I can get up at a somewhat normal time. So yeah, we're here and we are live on Twitch. Game Week 10 on the docket today. We're going to take a look at how the team is shaping up. We're going to take a look at all your questions you have in the chat as well. And we're going to take a look at our Fantasy Football Scout members area tables. We got a few of them lined up as we normally do. And we'll take a look at some of the fixtures and that sort of stuff as we normally do. It'll kind of be a bit more free form, which is kind of nice on the deadline stream because I made my transfer well in advance. It didn't backfire on me. It's just a matter of, do I start Mitrovic or not? So I think that's going to be the situation for this one. So without further ado, let's get into it. Mono says the pilot is taking off. Yes, we have liftoff. And he says, I think I'm locked in early. Yeah, I mean, this is, you get game weeks like this where you'll lock in early. Me too, personally. The only thing I have to consider is just Mitrovic versus Gehi. I'm not sure if Mitrovic's going to start, though. So, yeah, not really too sure. Fixtures, Fulham don't play till tomorrow. So he does have a bit of time. I mean, if he doesn't, I feel like if he's going to not play, he's just not going to be in the team at all. And I feel like if he is going to play, he's going to start. So that Mitrovic didn't travel, well, yeah, there you go. Morning, Masudi. Good morning. Yeah, if he didn't travel, then he didn't, then, you know, then it's, you know. We've already figured that one out, basically. Which is why I have my bench lineup the way it is. Because I would like, if Mitrovic does play, I would like to, you know, put him in there. But if not, then we want Mark Ahe in there, who's first up. So that's kind of what we're looking for. But yeah, sometimes you get one of those game weeks where it's a little bit easier. And this week's definitely easier if we look at the fixtures here. First set of fixtures are 3 p.m. UK time, which is interesting. No early morning one, which means I don't have to get up at like 5:30 in the morning or something crazy, which is nice. So yeah, very, very good. We've got 4 to start off with. So I will have, let's see, Bournemouth Leicester. I'll have 2 players, Solanke and Madison, 1 on either side. Chelsea, I'll have Reece James, which is 3. Man City, I'll have 3 plus my captain, which makes 6. Newcastle, Brentford, I will have 0. So yeah, I'll have 6 players. And then on the Sunday, I'll have 1 from Crystal Palace. 2 actually from Crystal Palace if Mitrovic doesn't play. I'll have 1 from Liverpool, 1 from Arsenal, which is 4. And then I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. Oh, I do have 1 player. I'll have 7 players. I'll have Raya in goal. Can I get a shout out for Sons Paul and Andrew after their own foot game this morning? Shout out to Paul and Andrew. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Trying to think the last time I actually played a like actual somewhat competitive game of football. Would have been a few years ago now, at least 11 aside at least. Obviously you can have kickabouts in the backyard and that sort of stuff, but yeah, that would have been a long time ago. And then for like American football, that would have been a longer time ago. That would have been like high school. So yeah, shout out to Paul and Andrew. Hopefully you enjoyed it and enjoy your weekend. So yeah, the fixtures are pretty spicy today. This is going to be an interesting day, to be honest. I mean, this might sound a bit ranty, but this time block, yes, it's very good for like American audience and stuff, but for people going to this game, this is an absolute nightmare. This is a 7 p.m. kickoff time. And I think they said that the last train back to Manchester is like 20 minutes into the first half of the game or something like that. Or 20 minutes into the second half. Something crazy like that. So, yeah. People traveling, stay safe when you're going to that one. Having a great season till now. Actually, I'm currently second at the Flames Recruits League. Oh, fantastic. Let's see. We could actually take a look at that. Flames Recruit mode. Fair play. Fair play. Let's see the team. Let's see the team. Let's see the team. 119 last week. Oh, yeah, you did pretty good. 6K in the world. Doing absolute wonders. And you are 3 points behind Zodiac, who is going crazy this season as well. But he has a lot of problems on his bench at the moment. He's got a lot of problems on his bench. So Gameweek 10 is an absolute headache. I have 2 transfers. I have no clue what to do. Let me go back to the team. Should I bring in Zaha? Let's see. So you have 2 free transfers. And this is your team. So, and how much money in the bank do you have? It'll say it actually. None. Okay. None in the bank. I mean, I'd be half tempted to just like downgrade Sufal, to be honest. I would just be half tempted to just downgrade Sufal and then roll the other transfer. Because Sufal is what, like 4.4? Just downgrade Sufal to like Mark Gahey or something. You get the extra 0.1. Sufal doesn't seem to be nailed on as currently stands. Didn't play last game, which was really weird. I don't know if that was a rest or not, but West Ham's fixtures aren't like amazing, but like Crystal Palace is on this like stretch here. It's just like crazy good. And again, it's just you're gonna be playing. I mean, most weeks you're gonna be playing the team that's on the pitch. Basically, you're not gonna be playing these guys on the bench. But Mark Gahey's a good, opportunity to play. Because like, who would you like? Can you trust that Sufal's gonna play after he didn't play when they played one of their center backs at right back? I wouldn't be too sure. And you need somebody for this week to play if Mitrovic doesn't play, right? So like for my team, I've got Mark Gay. We know he's going to play. Brilliant fixtures up until and including a couple of fixtures after the World Cup. Super cheap, cheaper than Sufal. Yeah, he's a bit of a boring pick, but 4.3 million can't really go wrong, right? And if you need him to come in, like in situations like this week where, don't necessarily want to get rid of Mitrovic because Mitrovic after the West Ham game has, 4 really good fixtures. 3 home games. We want to keep him. Gahey can just step in, basically. So, and do well. Yeah, that's the only thing that I can see. The only other option would be if you did want to make way for Zaha or something like that. That would be I mean, you'd have to downgrade somebody like Kane, probably. Because you have 0 in the bank. You can't like downgrade Pope to a smaller goalkeeper and then upgrade Andreas Pereira. I was thinking of downgrading Pope to Guaita. That's another option. Yeah. That's another option. I mean, Pope has Brentford at home this week, so that probably doesn't feel as good. But like one little differential pick for the next like 3 weeks is basically somebody from Chelsea. So like, if you wanted, you could go like so like Kane in the next 3 has Brighton away, Everton at home, Man United away. Could he score in those games? Yeah, he could. But you can go for something a bit. You can go for like you know, Kane down to Aubameyang. Use that money to upgrade because Kane's what 11-4. Aubameyang's what 9-1 now. So that's what 2.3. It still wouldn't be enough for Zaha. Damn. I mean, basically, like I'm not too sure. Yeah, that if you want to do something crazy like that, but I would just play it safe. I would play it safe. I mean, you could do the goalkeeper transfer and then roll the next one. You could do the Sufal one to Mark Gahey and do the next one, and roll the next one. Either of those probably work, but I think you probably give Pope at least this game versus Brentford at home. I think the likely chance of a clean sheet. Palace have Leeds. They are at home. It's not necessarily as likely of a clean sheet, I would think. Especially if Mitrovic is out, you know, then you would hedge your bets that oh, not Mitrovic. Newcastle at home, you would hedge your bets for that. So the same thing is to forget about Zaha. I mean, yeah, you can't really bring him in, to be honest, right? You can't. Any Mitrovic news? Apparently, he didn't travel, which is I haven't seen it personally, but let me see if there's anything on Mitrovic. Yeah, there's still no definitive, there's still nothing definitive on Mitrovic, to be honest. I'm gonna play him. If he starts, he starts. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Likelihood is he probably won't come on. They'll probably just rest him because he's definitely gonna be ready for Game Week 11. Right. Mono says, I have Guaita, Cancelo, Trippier, James, KDB, Madison, Zaha, Martinelli, Holland captain, Slanky, and Mitrovic. Subs Ward, Gahey, Justin, Anderson, lots in the bank. KDB came in for Salah. Thoughts? Seems fine. Perfecto. I think it's perfectly fine. Probably the only player you're missing, you're missing out on potentially is Trent, who I don't expect to keep clean sheet today, by the way. Kane, but I mean, it's whatever. And Bowen. That's pretty much it, to my knowledge. Oh, and Salah, obviously, but I mean, Salah plays Arsenal, and Arsenal are probably going to beat Liverpool for the first time in a long time. At least to my memory. Every time I remember in recent years, oh, I didn't put up the deadline timer. I should do that. Let me do that. Where's the timer? Countdown to We want to go to... There we go. Got it. Got the deadline timer running. I like Kelman for the next week for Cancelo, then Foden in for Madison in 12. I think you could probably do better than Kilman. Because I think Wolves are in... I mean, Wolves just had their manager sacked, right? Yeah, they play Forest at home, but like, just go, I mean, you already have Mark Gahey, but he would have been, you know, the perfect one. You basically just want a cheap playing defender that can come in, as it were, right? So if I just go to defenders at 4.7, defenders 4.8. I mean, I don't dislike Botman. I think Botman's fine. But I mean, he plays Man United away next week, which is obviously going to be a bit tricky. I mean, Webster for Brighton's not terrible. If you don't need him for Game Week 13 and 14, then he's probably pretty good. If you just want somebody to come in and do a job, then he could be one. You can go for, as James from Planet FPL says, the cat kicker. If Ben White didn't have a blank, obviously he'd be pretty good, but that's the thing. It depends. If you just need a player to be downgraded to somebody for Game Week 11, I mean, I think Ben White's fine. But you have, how many City and Arsenal players do you have? You have 1, 2, 3, oh yeah, 4, yeah. Well, there's a problem. Yeah. So then you need someone who's literally going to play in 12. Let me see. What are the best fixtures in 12? Yeah, I think a Brighton defender, to be honest. Versus Forest, maybe? I don't know. Veltman, Dunk, Webster, something like that. That's possible. I just think Wolves are a bit kind of up in the air at the moment. That's all. Cash for Trent. Well, yeah, there you go. You can go Trent. He plays West Ham. That's something you can do. Sudi says, thanks for the help, Pilot. No problem. I mean, you're doing way better than me this season. So keep doing whatever you're doing. You and Zodiac. Keep doing whatever you're doing. Let me just check Twitter really quickly. People are making jokes that that Mitrovic didn't travel to the London Stadium today. I mean, yes, but because he doesn't play today. They play tomorrow. Monsters, cheers for the help. Also, no problem. But yeah, I'm 2 million. I'm washed at the moment. I gotta sort my own team out at the moment. But yeah, we brought in KDB for Salah this week. So hopefully, we can have a good week. Let's take a look at some tables. Let's look at the goals and minute table. Let's see if this will cheer me up a little bit. So, for those who don't know, the goals and minute table was started by FF Scout Joe. And basically, I've just replicated as my own. And basically, what it tells you is in the last 4 matches, players who have basically had a lot of goal attempts and not scored. And Salah's top of that list, so that doesn't feel good that I got rid of him. But De Bruyne's on there as well. We got Solly March, we got Darwin Nunez, Neil Mope, just because he misses a lot. Saka, Odegaard, Rodrigo, Jared Bowen, even though after he scored. Harvey Barnes, and Gabriel Martinelli are on here. I think that's more for shot volume, but yeah, so the if this number here is negative, basically, that means their XG that they've accumulated is more than the number of goals that they've scored. So, as an example, De Bruyne should have scored an extra goal by now. Salah should have scored an extra 2 goals by now, according to his XG. So, Kerwin from 11 to 16 is very good. I mean, he's decent, but except it's just Wolves, right? They just fired their manager, so they just sacked Bruno Lage. So, I mean, yeah, Forest at home, Palace away, Leicester at home, Brentford away, Brighton at home, then Arsenal at home is not great, but yeah, I think it's fine. But you could bring in Kilman. I mean, see what Wolves do this week, for sure. Because we don't know what's going to happen, right? They could just straight change up the team. Back line's gone, forward line's gone. I mean, I don't think they have much choice, but yeah. They could just straight do a 180 on the team. Swap people around, and then you're kind of, lost, as it were. Or you bring in a player that's not going to play. So that would be something I would say, just keep an eye on. Just keep an eye on it. Yeah, Kilman is, I mean, on paper is good. Because Wolves defensively have always been like a decent team. Defensively. It's just when it comes to attack, they've kind of always been a bit lackluster, shall we say. And I think that was why a lot of the fans are pretty fed up with what they were seeing on the pitch. Because Wolves just didn't look like they were ever going to score a goal. And that's kind of been the case ever since Raul Jimenez's injury, to be honest. They've been very, very lackluster in front of goal. creating chances, creating, defined patterns of play where they can consistently create good chances for their front men, and that's a problem. That is a problem. That's something that the coach needs to figure out. That's what Bruno Lage needed to figure out. Fans got fed up, and they got rid of him. It's kind of how it works. Unfortunately, it's easier to sack one person than it is 11. So that's kind of the issue. But also doesn't help that they've had Pedro Neto coming in and out of the team because of long-term injuries. Parenz was in and out of the team for injury. Raul Jimenez just hasn't been the same. Like, Hwang hasn't been super consistent. Adama Traore just has no end product, basically. So they really struggle up front. And even defensively, they started to leak goals because they've had injuries at the back, which has caused them to injuries and suspensions, that is, where they've basically in an area where they're light at center back, then that also causes issues, because when you're light in a certain position and you have the inability to play your proper players there, like Ruben Neves as an example was being played at center back, which in theory is like kind of a sweeper, it makes somewhat sense because he's basically playing DM, even though he's not. But then he gets suspended because 5 yellows or something, I think. It's kind of an issue. Which is why, if I had the funds, and I had known about it at the time, I was considering a -8. I would have done Trent out for what's his name? Ben Chilwell. And then Mitrovic up to Aubameyang. This would have been exact money because Aubameyang wouldn't have gone up at the time, and Mitrovic and Mitrovic and Trent went down. So that's the 0.3 basically. That's what I would have gone for, and I would have done that for the next 3, because Wolves, Villa, Brentford look pretty good for Chelsea, and Chelsea are almost guaranteed a clean sheet this game week because of the fact that Wolves at home is an easy fixture. However, there's a chance that Ben Chilwell might just not play. That is also a possibility. Because, coming back from a long injury, don't want to play him too many games in succession. With Fofana out injured again, you would think Cucurella comes back in, which means maybe he would deploy Cucurella as left wing back and then play somebody else at center back, or play Cucurella as left sided center back and then deploy Sterling out there. Potter's a bit of a kind of a tinkerer, as it were, which is a good and a bad thing for FPL. Good thing because sometimes he puts players in positions which benefits them even more. Bad thing would be is if he put players out of, take players out of their positions that we wanted them to play week in, week out. So that's kind of the thing there. So that's one to kind of keep an eye on. If he then plays Chilwell again versus Wolves and does well, then maybe it's something to consider. So, we shall see. And Chelsea's fixtures are pretty good. Villa away, don't expect Villa to score. Brentford away is going to be tough. Man United at home is always a difficult fixture. Brighton will be difficult. Arsenal will be difficult. Newcastle will be difficult. So, they have a spell of some trickier games. And then after the World Cup, they got two nice underhanded throws for games. Bournemouth at home, Forest away. So should be no problems there for Graham Potter and his men. Just taking a look on the Twitter. Currently, De Bruyne versus Southampton has had 11 appearances versus Southampton. He's had 4 blanks, but he's also had 4 double-digit hauls, 4 goals, and 8 assists. Nice. That bodes well. I think Salah's also done well versus Salah does well versus Arsenal. So. Let me move back to here. Something I just wanted to check. Just checking something really quickly. Okay. All right. Bench or start Mitrovic? I think start him. I think we gotta start him. Because if it's minor and he plays, then I think he has a good chance of doing well. But I think it's either one of two things going to happen. He's either going to start and come off after 60 minutes, or he gets re-injured, one of the two. Or he's just not going to play. I think that's what we have to go with, to be honest. So basically, I would say prep your first sub. Prep your first sub. That's what I would say. If he plays, he plays. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I would say make sure your first sub is prepared. Be prepared. prepared. Be prepared. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm hanging on to Mitrovic, playing him. Actually, speaking of which, let me take a picture of my team because I don't think it's going to change anytime before the deadline. So let me just do that really quickly. So I can post that for you all later. There we go. Ward or Pope to start? Gotta play Pope, surely. Gotta play Pope. Brentford at home? Yeah, I think you gotta play Pope, to be honest. I mean, if you played Ward over Pope last week, I mean, cool. But you just remember that Leicester still aren't good defensively just because they kept a clean sheet versus Forest. Yeah, I would still play Pope. I would still play Pope. You're paying the upwards towards the premium price to have him. You're not going to just bench him just because Ward got a clean sheet last week. B_Raider says, "Good morning. Happy to be up to catch a live stream for a change. Good luck this week." Thank you. You as well. Have a good game week this week as well. Yeah, we always do a deadline stream, or at least try to always do a deadline stream. Try to do a preview stream as well, and at least one video throughout the week. Yeah, this one was a bit. This deadline stream was a bit different, obviously, because of the fact that there's no early kickoff game. It's just the 3 p.m.s and then the 5:30 kickoffs in the UK. Next week, it's actually we're going to be doing the deadline stream on the Thursday. We'll do it the night before, and I'll basically run it as a premiere on the Friday, and I'll try to be in the chat over on YouTube for that if I can. The Gameweek 12 is midweek, so it's going to be quick turnaround. So that's going to be preview stream Sunday evening, deadline stream Monday evening, and then premiere it on the Tuesday. And then same situation again. It'll be preview stream on the Thursday, deadline stream on the Saturday for Game Week 13. And then back to normal on Game Week 14 with preview stream on the Monday and deadline stream on the Saturday. Same for Game Week 15 and same for Game Week 16. So bit of a mixed bag in the next couple, but for stream timings, but yeah, should be fun. Yeah, even if you have Trippier, I still think you play Pope. I mean, he's got the home fixture. You got to back him. You're paying the premium money for him. I think Bournemouth personally score versus Leicester. I think Forest are just so disconnected at the moment that, and the Forest should have scored at least twice. Like with the chances that they had, they should have scored. So let's take a look at some team stats here. So this is the what has been dubbed as the Whipping Boys table, which basically just means the teams that are very bad defensively. And And we've organized it in such a way to where the bad teams are at the top currently. So XG conceded. Fulham is actually at the top. So Fulham play West Ham this week. So if you got Jared Bowen, probably be pretty happy about that. Crystal Palace and Leeds play each other, which is interesting. Them being second and third. And then Leicester, as we mentioned. Man United is also in fifth, which isn't very encouraging. But we do play Everton, who aren't the greatest attacking team. Wolves are actually pretty good defensively in terms of their numbers. But attacking-wise, they just have nothing going forward. But, yeah. We are all captaining and piling on Man City players. Southampton are actually in the top third for XG conceded in terms of, like, their being good defensively, which is weird. So maybe they'll give them some trouble. Attack-wise, I mean, Man City are at the top. No surprise there. Liverpool, Newcastle up there. Brighton and Spurs with Arsenal and Man United in the mix as well. So, I mean, no surprises there. I mean, best captainable players playing on the team that has the best attacking data. Shock horror. But teams that aren't really looking to potentially score is Crystal Palace, Fulham, and Bournemouth. Mind you, Crystal Palace with the play style. They've also been playing against teams that have been much more difficult for them. And they've been mainly playing on the counter. Bournemouth, they're just the worst attacking team in the league, which is why I'm confused as to why I have a striker from the team. But it's as an enabler. Fulham basically won't score unless Mitrovic scores, pretty much. Chelsea's prospects of a clean sheet look pretty good because Wolves' attacking data is fourth worst on this table. So, yeah, if you go based off just team stats, the best attacking team or the team most likely to score a bunch of goals is probably going to be Man City. And then Liverpool, and then Newcastle, and then Arsenal. Liverpool and Arsenal play each other, so that's probably got a game with a lot of goals in it. Whether it's one-sided or not, we'll see. But Man City are best attacking stats. But if you're going strictly off defenses, West Ham look to be a good prospect this week because they're playing against the weakest defense in the league in Fulham over the last 4 matches in terms of XG conceded. Crystal Palace, it bodes well for them to score some goals versus Leeds because they're the third weakest in XG conceded. And same goes for the likes of Bournemouth and Leicester, who are in the top half. Leicester being 4th, Bournemouth being 7th in terms of weakest defense for XG conceded. And they play each other as well. So, yeah, some interesting statistics there. Let's talk about captaincy discussion, and we'll do the... We'll draw up our captains here. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any surprises, to be honest, as to who I'm going to put number 1. It's going to be Mo Salah, of course. I'm joking. It's going to be Haaland, of course. And then there's going to be a massive gap. And then it's just going to be the rest. No, but in all seriousness, let's... It's Haaland for me this week for sure. I think De Bruyne is next. That's off just initial impression. So let's just hide the notepad and see what the stats are telling us. So, this is our penalty box threat for attackers. We organized it by penalty area touches. So typically, when you get more touches of the ball in the penalty area, especially inside the 6-yard box, you're going to do quite well. So if you have a lot of penalty area touches and a good bit of those are inside the 6-yard box, that usually means you have tap-in goals. So we've put a bunch of different players on this list here. Jesus is actually at the top tied with Salah for most penalty area touches. Then Martinelli, Saka, and Haaland to round out the top 5. But if we organize it by touches in the 6-yard box, Erling Haaland's top with 6. And that just makes the most sense. Because he is getting shots inside the box that are super, super close, getting tap-ins, rebounds, anything like that. He's going to be there to pick up the pieces. And then if we look at the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, he's only getting 9 penalty area touches because typically De Bruyne's goals come from outside the box. But if you organize it by expected goal involvement, then De Bruyne obviously shoots up to 4th place because he's creating a lot of big chances. He's also tied top for most chances created as well. And then if we go to our other table, which is our captaincy table, Haaland is at the top of the list on highest expected goal involvement. But Gabriel Jesus and Salah, who I think are probably the next 2 captains in line, as it were. That's who I would put there. And then 5th this week, I would probably say... Just trying to think who would be like an alternate captain to Haaland, who you wouldn't be completely crazy if you did captain them. I would probably say Zaha, just because of the nature of the game versus Leeds is going to be pretty open. But I mean, you're definitely like, if you have Haaland in your team, you're captaining him this week. He is a home fixture versus a team that has a manager that's potentially going to get sacked after this game. So Hasenhüttl is on a lot of pressure. Southampton have been known to be opened up for quite a few goals, and Haaland is not shy from scoring goals. So, yeah, this would be my my captaincy list to be. So, yeah. So yeah, basically Haaland captain, no real surprises there. Again, we will potentially go against it next week when they play Liverpool. You got Arsenal away to Leeds, Chelsea away to Villa, Spurs at home to Everton. But I think we're just going to pick Haaland again because Liverpool have been so bad defensively. Then in Game Week 12, it's interesting because there's no Arsenal, no City. So we have to kind of pick somebody that's potentially out of the blue. So that's going to be a tricky one. I think I might just pick Madison versus Leeds, to be honest. Last game of the game week. Either that or Zaha versus Wolves. But Wolves defensively are, you know, usually a bit trickier. Kind of sit back, don't really play into Palace. Yeah, I might just go Madison versus Leeds. And then back to normal. Haaland versus at home. Just Haaland at home is a captain, just always, doesn't matter who he's playing, to be honest. Away to Leicester. Leicester defensively are bad, so probably Haaland again. Doesn't matter if Salah plays Leeds, like Leicester worse than Leeds defensively. Then Man City play Fulham at home, so that's Haaland. And then Man City play Brentford at home, so that's probably Haaland. And then it's the international break. So the only real chance you can potentially stray away from captaincy is next week and Game Week 12. Everything else is Haaland, and more Haaland. So yeah, this is the team as it stands at the moment. We got Raya in goal. We've got João Cancelo. We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, Kevin De Bruyne, Martinelli. This is Lewis Zaha. It's not Lewis Zaha. It's Wilfred Zaha. Louis Saha was a former player, Fulham Man United player. Got that one mixed up. Wilfred Zaha, James Maddison, Erling Haaland, Dominic Solanke, and Alexander Mitrovic. I think I've got all the names. So I got Reece. You got Reece James, Gabriel Martinelli, Kevin De Bruyne, Trent Alexander-Arnold, João Cancelo, and David Raya is the first name. David Raya Martin. So yeah, that's the team basically. We could spend probably a few minutes looking at what potentially we can do next week, or what the team is looking like next week, just to kind of play around with it. Bring up fpl.team. Again, a fantastic website. So we've brought in De Bruyne. So we captained Haaland. So yeah, so this is what the team looks like for next week. Basically, we need to get rid of somebody the following week, because we'll have 4 players from City and Arsenal. So I think maybe for this week we just kind of chill, or maybe we go like Cancelo, because I think Liverpool will probably end up scoring, probably. Do we get rid of Salah or Cancelo preemptively and bring in somebody that can cover that area, or do we just kind of roll the transfer and just say whatever? Because I know the following week, obviously, we'll have 4 blanks in the team. So that's kind of something to kind of keep an eye on. I guess it's kind of... one of those things where we kind of just have to wait and see. The captaincy for this week, yeah, like I said, it's probably going to be Maddison. That'd be probably Cancelo, who we get rid of. It's a bit of a tough one, to be honest. Bit of a tough one. Arsenal and Man City not playing kind of makes things a bit weird. But yeah, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Again, a lot of things can happen. There's also Champions League again in midweek, so that could cause a bit of a stir up, as it were. So I'm just taking a look on Twitter to see if there's anything for injury news or anything like that. And don't see anything. I don't see anything. So yeah, doesn't seem like there's any action happening anytime soon. Less than 4 minutes, so make sure to get your teams all sorted. Actually, I'm going to do that on my phone while I have the chance to do so. Get it out before the deadline, might as well. So, my team. So copy that. James at the Gameweek 10. What is our rank? Our rank is an abysmal 2.01 million. We have 0.5 million in the bank. One. Salah makes way for De Bruyne. And then Holland is the Capitone. I think Holland's effective ownership. I know we don't like to talk about effective ownership, but or at least that shouldn't weigh into your decisions. But his ownership's going to be something crazy this week. I'm pretty sure about it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be crazy. All right, there we go. Got that all sorted. But yeah, just over a minute left on the deadline. Let me just refresh, make sure my team's in order. Yeah, so we'll play Mitrovic. See how it goes, and yeah, we should be fine. We should be fine. We should be fine. So Man City game is going to go through. If Holland doesn't play, then De Bruyne I have as the vice captain. That's kind of how I want it, to be honest. And since City are one of the first games up, if the game got canceled now for whatever reason, that would be unfortunate. So we'll just call that. But the game's not going to get canceled, or at least it shouldn't do, unless there was some very valid reason for it. But yeah, less than 30 seconds. Make sure you got your teams locked in. Make sure they're locked in. Make sure you got your captain right, your vice captain right, your bench order right. You got the right goalkeeper in there. You lock in your transfers. If you're on a wild card or something, make sure that's locked in, because you only got 10 seconds left to do it. So make sure you do that. But yeah, Raya, Cancelo, Trent, James, De Bruyne with the vice captaincy, Martinelli, Zaha, Madison, Holland captain, Solanke, Mitrovic with Everson, Gahey, Anderson, and Williams on the bench. That's how we line up, and that should be the deadline stream, and it is. So that's going to do it for this one. Let's move over to our partners for the video. So for the stream and this video, thank you to Fantasy Football Scout for showing us some of the tables that we have, that we've made in the members area. Fantastic, as always, from Fantasy Football Scout. Make sure you go check them out in the About section here on Twitch, or over in the description on any YouTube video, or in my bio over on Twitter. It'll help improve and elevate your FPL games. Make sure you check them out as well. Shout out to Fantasy Football Scout. Now, let's move over to the big screen. So, thank you all for watching this Game Week 10 deadline stream. We will be back for the preview stream. That's going to be on Monday, and the deadline stream will be on the Thursday, if I remember correctly, for this, because it's going to be a Friday start for the upcoming Game Week 11. So make sure to tune in for that as well. We'll probably do a captain video this coming week, just because it's a bit interesting to go against Holland, because he's playing Liverpool. And historically, that is a much closer game, and much more difficult to call in terms of returns. But it's probably just going to be Holland again, isn't it? But that's what we'll look to do. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, favorite, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, have a good game week 10. Until next one, take care.